Good morning, sweepers and beepers, and welcome back to the channel. Let's go detecting. Now, today's video is building upon the previous one, which was a 4-tone beach program. This one is going to be a 6-tone beach program, and it's called the Silver Whisperer Beach Edition. And this is ideally designed to hunt out those silver bits that are left behind at the beach, be they jewelry, rings, or even a few occasional silver coins. So sit back, get a cup of tea, and enjoy the video. Okay, I'm hoping that's coming through quite clear for you. Now I've got the screen brightness set to max because I'm indoors and it's a very overcast day. As you can see, my sensitivity here is set to 1. That's because, again, as I said, I'm indoors, and if it was any higher, it would be picking up on all sorts of ear mine interference and it will make this a very chattery video. So let's see the program we're going to set through, which is the Silver Whisperer Beach Edition. And this is going to be a bit of an expanded technical summary for you. So we have beach mode set. I've also got it in beach multi, which is multi-wet. That gives you best ability and depth in all salty and mineralized sand. So it covers nearly 90% of all sea beaches. If you're doing an inland beach, I would go to multi-dry because the salt content is probably as freshwater lake. It's probably going to be easier for you to detect on. So if you're anywhere near the coast, as in with salty sea, go MW. So let's go into this. I'm in all metal because I want to hear every single thing that's under the ground. I don't want to do any form of discrimination at all on this program. So we'll start off with the basic settings. So we're going to settings. Recovery speed, I like that to be at 6 for this. That gives you an ideal sweep response for separation, especially with the LG24 coil, which is fitted, which is fantastic at separation. This allows you to happily swing quite speedily. If you want to slow your swing down, drop recovery down as well. You can go to a 4 and it'll still be able to separate the targets quite happily using this coil. 6 is just good enough for the depth that I want to dig. So in the background of that one, so if we go into the background, I have my IF set at 2. That removes most of the iron smear without masking any deep conductors. I find it perfectly good at the beach. You get the sudden click, as I mentioned in the last video. If you get a ironclad coin, so at least you know what you're getting with this IF setting. Moving across, stability is at 3. That just smooths it down slightly. My bottle cap rejection at 0. Yes, I'm going to dig some bottle caps, but it's not going to mask anything else. So I'd rather dig a bottle cap than miss a target. GS, ground suppression, I'd see no reason to change this. So I leave this purely at stock setting, which is a 0. And that you see my field videos is identical to there as well. And deep target, I've got that at 2. That just gives me a nice little enhanced target tone for anything that is on the edge of being out of depth. It doesn't increase the depth, it just brings that audio sound up slightly for you. So that's those. I then go into my volumes. So I have that at 5. 5 works perfectly through headphones for me at the beach, especially because you've got the noise of the sea, and it's windy, so you've got the wind noise around the earphones, and that just allows the targets to still come through and be heard. And on the background of that one, I have my audio gain set to 3, which is the middle of the tone. I'm not too worried about the really faint deep things because the deep tone will pick those one up. So 3 just works nicely for me with volume at 5. Now we get to nitty gritty. So I'm going to start with the pitches. So my first bucket I'll bring across. So bucket 1, I have 0 to 5. Next one is 6 to 10. Now as you can see, I've just basically, I could have had 1 to 10, but I want to separate the really junkers to ones that possibly could be faint, decent targets. Very small gold sits somewhere in that 6 to 10 range at times. So I don't want to just totally discard it. I want to know if I'm actually just getting a slight difference. Then I use the ferro bar to see if I'm going to dig or not dig. Next one is the 11 to 20 range. I then got 20 to 32. And I should go through these and explain again once you've seen the settings as to my rationale for it. I then have 32 to 45, and the final one being, as you can see from there, will be 46 up to 60. I know in previous videos I said I knock out the last two, but in this particular program using 6 tones, I want to keep that as it is, and if I get a high, really screaming target in the 60s, I may dig it, or I'll just leave it and walk away, because I know, hand on heart, it's going to be something not worth digging. It is going to be a very large cat or something stupid like that. So yeah, I'll walk away, or I go into custom settings and actually discriminate those 2 notches out totally, so they'll never be picked up in the first place. So that's those bits. I'll then go into the pitch for each one. So start at the beginning. So my first one, which was a 0 to 5 VDI, I have my pitch set at 3. 6 to 10, I have that set at 5. So just a slight difference between those two. As I said before, it's just to work out a really complete junk to a possible target that may be in the junk range. Then I have the pitch at 9, still quite low, but it just gives that nice whisper tone to it with the volume that I'll have set. Then go to 14 for the next one. 21, which is in the nice range for deep silver and large bronze and older coins. And finally, have the pitch at 27 for the last one, which is high silver, the crowns, and larger coins. So it just doesn't blow the ears off too much. It's not really painful. It's just a nice tone that says, oh, that's really interesting. You should have a look at that. And then finally, we go to the volumes. So number 1, which is volume 2, which I also had a pitch 3, VDI 0 to 5. That's a subtle low grunt. Just keeps me aware of what's there without masking anything. The next one up just brings it slightly sharper grunt, still a grunt, but just slightly sharper, and it signals potential targets that might be forcing his iron. So again, use the ferro bar to good effect. The next one is a 11 to 20, which is a volume 9 and pitch of 9. And it comes a nice, bright, crisp whisper tone. And you're going to get that for gold chains and stud earring areas. So it's just that nice little, oh, this could be interesting. Unfortunately, foil sits in that light range as well, as do certain ring pulls. But we all know those targets you have to dig because the ferro bar says they're really good and they're they're good conductors. So you dig them and you take that as a risk. It's something we just live with at the beach. Next one, I've got that set to volume 8. The pitch on that would be 14. That gives a nice warm solid dig me zone. So it's nice. If you get anything in that one, you're going to dig it regardless, unless obviously your ferro bar says it's completely rubbish. Next one, I've dropped the volume down to 7, but the tone or the pitch is at 21, so it's a smooth, it's a lifted tone. It's got distinct signature to it. It sounds really nice in my ears. And finally, I've got the volume at 6. I've dropped the volume down a bit, but the pitch is at 27. It sounds nice. It's sharp, it's bright, it's unmistakably, it's a silver peak tone. And later on, I'll demonstrate over a couple of silver targets. You'll see how this sounds. It's really, really nice, especially with headphones on. It just doesn't hurt the ears. It's just a really nice, clear, yes, got it target. Dig me, dig me. And that is the settings I've got for this program. So in a second, I'm going to come out of this and show you how it all sounds when you get to put it over a target. Okay, this is a quick demonstration of what I'm going to be showing you as I run them over the coil. Just so you can see when I explain what it is, you'll see a visualization. So we've got a bit of iron there, a ring pull, rose gold earring, a silver ring, a silver St. Christopher, a pre-Euro Spanish peseta, Queen Victoria farthing, a Queen Victoria penny from, you can see that on there, but it is 18, try and get it into picture, it's 1884, a bottle cap, costume ring, a old halfpenny from 1966, a medieval jeton, and an Edward I hammered coin, which is there. I don't know if you can see that in the picture clearly. Obviously, if that was in the field, it would be a different, just to say you can see what it sounds like, and a bit of costume jewelry here, which, well, it rings up quite well. So I'm going to put this camera back on the detector, and as I run them over the coil, you'll see the scores and the tones, and you'll see the ferrous indication on the ferro bar. So hopefully that will work. Start with something quite good to start with. We'll start with the rose gold earring. I'll then use the ring pull. I say that you'd have to dig all day, every day. This is the Spanish peseta, 25 pesetas. I'm then going to do the medieval jeton. A low tone, but as you can see, the ferro bar fully over. The Eddie I hammered. See, that's quite, as you see, hammers give you a nice whisper sound. That's the whisper sound. Now for the Queen Victorian penny. And the halfpenny. So you hear the tone difference there. But it's not blowing your ears off. The brass farthing. Again, it's in that high tone area. The silver ring, 925 ring. It's quite cool. And we've got the silver pendant. And let's do the bottle cap. You should hear this clicking, which is where the IF's kicking in. And you can see from the ferro bar, it's quite a mixed signal. And that's a clear indication that you've got a mixed component there. And with the clip, that's a walk away from quite happily every day. Now the big iron hook, big lump of iron. And this is where it's nice to have that split tone on the iron area. And you see when it gets closer to the coil, really artificially close, it's still got the full side of the non-ferrous, or the ferrous side. So you wouldn't dig this. You wouldn't touch that at all. And the costume jewellery, yeah, you go for that. And finally, I'm going to show you a tone of a 2p coin, which is slightly higher, so that should be nice and crisp. And those numbers I would dig. If it was any higher, like 59, 60, that's when I walk away. So I hope this has helped. If it has, please hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and I wish you all the very best if you're out there hunting. Good luck, guys. I'll see you on the next video.